Hey guys, what's going on? It's Geoff Neupert, Master Kettlebell Instructor from KettlebellSecrets.com. I want to make you this video today, and I want to talk about the best upper body exercise to pair with your kettlebell training. All right, and you know, best has a bunch of different connotations, right? So what's best for one person may not be best for the other. But what I want to talk about today is best in terms of achieving structural balance. Okay, what does that mean? Well, structural balance is very simple. One side of your body, maybe the front of your body, is balanced by the back of your body. The left of your body is balanced by the right body. In other words, you move well, you don't have a lot of asymmetries, and hopefully you've got none at all. Most of us are mildly asymmetrical. But the point is to be able to basically get rid of all your movement dysfunctions, okay? So when we're talking about structural balance, let's dig a little deeper here, and we're going to talk about an idea called antagonistic balance, all right? Now, I first learned about antagonistic balance, I don't know, probably about 1998 or so, through some really smart coaches, guys like Vern Gambetta. They didn't call it antagonistic balance. I don't know what they called it, but it was the concept. And then recently, Jed Johnson from the Diesel Crew, who's a really smart guy, and has got some amazing training programs, especially if you're into grip strength and strongman training. You should check out his stuff. Brought up this idea of antagonistic balance. So what is it? Very simple. We talk in terms in the world of anatomy of agonists and antagonists. So those are simply muscles on opposite sides of a joint. Okay, so if your bicep is working, it's the agonist. The muscle on the opposite side of the joint, which isn't working, is the antagonist. Okay, so let's take a close look at this term and apply it to something like the kettlebell swing. Right, I've got my kettlebell here. So let's take a look at the movement of the kettlebell swing. It is a hinge movement. Right? That's what we started calling it these days, a hinge movement. And what does a hinge movement mean? It means that you're folding at the hips, right? You're hinging at the hips. And when you do, if you do it correctly, your weight's on the center of your foot, your hamstrings are loading up, your glutes are loading up, your abs are contracting, and you know, maybe you might feel a little bit of tension in the low back. Not really that big of a deal on the low back thing, right? But it's posterior chain. And what is the posterior chain? It's the muscles on the back side of your body that forcefully extend your hip, right? Responsible for running and jumping and planting and cutting and turning when you're playing sports. That's the posterior chain, okay? So if we're talking about antagonistic balance and what exercises promote antagonistic balance to the kettlebell swing, and we're looking at bodyweight exercises, well, a really good and arguably one of the best and simplest to perform exercises would be the good old-fashioned push-up, all right? Now, why would that be? Very simple, especially if you make the modification to the push-up that I'm about to talk about, all right? In a push-up, you've got to maintain some kind of total body tension in order to keep your butt from sticking out in a push-up. Right, in order to slipping into a hinge. And by the way, that's how you know if your midsection or your core is weak, is if you're doing a push-up and you got to stick your butt in the air. That means you're weak in the middle, you're unglued. Okay, so you're going to do the opposite of a swing, right? So instead of moving into extension and loading extension, we don't want any extension here. We want to lock it off. We're going to use what Pablo calls the hollow position, and we're going to move into a little bit of flexion. So we're going to shorten the distance between this area down here, the pelvis, right? The pubic bone pelvic region, and the sternum. We're going to shorten this distance, moving into slight flexion. We're going to lock this off using a hollow position, and then we're going to do our push-ups. So here's what it's going to look like. Okay. So by the way, this is how you do push-ups wrong. See the butt is way up in the air? Don't like that. Okay? We don't want butt up in the air. Let me see, make sure that I'm still on camera here. Get my handy dandy kettlebell out of the way. So what we're going to do is you're going to hit the hollow position here, lock the glutes in, tighten the abs, and then push up. Okay, pretty simple. there's the push-up. So why is it an antagonistic balance again? Well, because it's upper body versus lower body. Okay, so it's the opposite, right? In the swing, the kettlebell swing, the hips are loaded in extension, okay, and the posterior is loaded, so the extensor chain is loaded. In the push-up, the flexor chain is loaded, so it's the opposite, all right, the antagonist. Not only that, the arm extension, right, and moving into flexion, as opposed to the vice versa with the swing. Okay, so that's why we're going to choose push-up as the bodyweight exercise that best complements the kettlebell swing. All right, make sense? Pretty easy. So you know that you're probably wondering, well, how do we mix the push-up? Holding the hollow position, of course, none of those garbage push-ups with your butt sticking in the air, right? A hollow position push-up, and program that in with your kettlebell swings. Very simple. You do a set of swings, right? And then you do a set of push-ups. Set of push-ups. Rest as needed, okay? And make sure that you don't go to failure. Make sure you can maintain that hollow position on the push-up. Done with the push-ups. Make sure your swings are nice and crisp and they float and they're effortless, all right? And if they're not, then you're done with that set of swings. And if for some reason you just cannot maintain your form at all, then your workout, your training for that day is done, all right? So, there you have it. The best bodyweight exercise to pair with the kettlebell swing. Geoff Neupert from kettlebellsecrets.com. Appreciate you watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it for you.